Yeah.
Let's let Kayla set the vibe.
Kayla, forgive me.
Go. You got it, Kayla.
Ooh, baby, you're gifted. The way you put it down like you missed it. It ain't felt this good in a minute.
Yo.
Blue blocker music.
Yeah, baby, you're gifted. I tried a million times to resist it, but something about you really hit different.
Hey, quit using that air horn, dude.
Let her
It's cool.
vibe.
It's hype.
Fuck me like your first
He's a vibe killer.
Ice like your first cup. It's a celebration, they don't practice, it's just hard work. Staring at my body, you appreciate the artwork. Coming back for seconds, cause you always put my heart first. Let you taste the juicy, you know how to make a star burn.
Yes,
That
shots.
spot, I lose control.
Thanks for that, Kayla. Thanks for indulging us. Yeah. Welcome to this.podcast. I'm your friendly host, Jay, joined by my brother and friends. My brother's off, but my friends are here. Let me, who we got? We got Co.
Man, what we talking about?
And we got Uncle Damo.
Hi, my name is Uncle Damo.
You can catch this.podcast at /linktree/this.podcast, and we'll meet you wherever you're at. And you can view us on YouTube. Let's get right into it, fellas. We got a special guest today.
Special.
The Miss Kayla Rae
Thank you guys.
decided to join us from Cali, LA. She representing the hometown. Let's give her a round of applause.
Man, Kayla, can I just say that manifestation is real?
It is very real.
Very.
You know, I was telling Kayla before the show started that we kind of had this in the works, at least the birth of it, of me kind of bringing it to the group about who we should interview months ago.
Right.
And, dude, she's here.
She's here. It's a real thing.
Man, it's real.
And I've been stalking her on the, well, I've been checking her out.
Stranger danger.
Let me back
Stranger
up.
danger.
Because this lady is gifted and talented, and she's been putting in hard work since forever. So Co and Damo have seen her at the Apex back in the day, not that long ago, but was back
Killing that shit.
killing it. And then I picked the vibes up through Danae Simone. I
Yeah.
did. That's when I started following you. And I was like, how did I miss this? Because hometown flavor, right? Not originally from here, but you got your cloth is cut from here.
Yeah, absolutely. I always tell people Denver kind of raised me as an artist, in the sense of when I moved here, I started performing more. I was doing shows at the Apex, which really helped my performance. It helped me with a crowd. It helped me sing live. It helped get me. It helped also just put me in the Black community here, which was what I was really looking for when I got here. I wanted to find my people, and Apex was just kind of a hub for music and culture and good food and good energy. And so started out, performing at Apex and then doing just shows at different venues around here. And I got to do Summer Jam. I got to open for Doja Cat and Tyga. So
wow.
Denver
Nice.
literally raised me as an artist.
Nice. How was that experience opening up for Doja Cat?
It was fire. The show was crazy. It was literally 2 weeks before everything got shut down in 2020.
Hey,
so
you know what's her name was there at the same show?
Rosa Job?
Rosa was
Yeah.
there. And she talked
absolutely.
about that.
Yeah, Rosa's amazing. She's a huge part of, just me kind of breaking out here.
Nice.
I think she found a song of mine on SoundCloud forever ago, and then we met at a party, and she was like, yo, I heard that song you dropped. And from then, we just became really good friends, and she invited me down to the station to meet, the program director and the music director, and really put me on and was like, yo, y'all got to know who this is. And they came out to a couple shows, and that's when they were like, you should do Summer Jam. And so Rosa's definitely helped put me on a lot. I got to show her a lot of love because she believed in me from the jump.
Shout out to Rosa.
Yeah, shout out to Rosa.
She's
1075.
the GOAT. Yeah, shout out to KS.
Kayla, let's talk about Apex.
Yeah.
Like you said, that was like the catalyst, you know, that helped you propel in the community here in Denver.
Yeah.
Everybody misses Apex.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Let's sit there for a minute.
It felt so good. I remember when I first got out here, I was like working this desk job, and this guy comes up to me and he's like, you look like you can sing. And I was like, what?
He said that?
Yeah.
Just out of the blue.
His name's Dan. He was the bass player in the band that I played with at Apex. And I was like, you're right. I can sing. And he's like, you want to come to a rehearsal? So I got in with the band. We started doing a couple shows at like the Breakers and some random places in Highlands Ranch. And then I don't know when we got the first Apex gig, but I remember being like, this is where we got to perform. Because we were doing like stuff in Littleton at, you know, some of these like whiter bars, which was cool, you know, humbled. I was humbled, whatever.
Yeah.
But I was like, they don't really appreciate our music. They don't appreciate our flavor, like what we have. And so the first show at Apex, I felt like I was like, at my uncle's spot. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm a vegetarian, but Herman was like, you want wings? And I was like, nah, but you got some french fries. Like, the love was so immense in the building, and I just felt like I was really embraced, and it felt like, okay, I want to come back here. Like, I want to perform here damn near every month. And so, Herman got me on a schedule, and he's good people. Like, he's a good businessman too. He always took care of us, which I really respected, because that's important in music and entertainment, to feel valued as well. So he was just, accepted me with open arms, and everybody at Apex, the culture there was everything.
Yo, man, shout out to Coach Herm.
Shout out to Coach Herm.
Hey, shout out to Apex too.
And the Apex.
The Apex was live.
It was live.
It was live, man.
Yeah. So let's talk about that journey, because you know, a lot of, I don't know what the saying is. I think it's like 10,000 hours to like master a craft, right? And I feel like you definitely put in that work. Can you describe like the grind for you of like what made you love and want to get into music, but then thereafter of like how hard you've been working?
What made me want to get into music was just seeing it on TV when I was a child. Like, I would see people perform on the BET Awards and stuff, and I would see the music videos, and I was just really drawn to that because I was always very creative. Like, I would make my own little instruments out of, like, random tissue boxes. I would wrap rubber bands around it and thought I made, like, a little guitar, you feel me? So I was just always very musical, and I think having my mom's support and having her just kind of be like, you know, you can do anything that you want to do, and if this is what you want to do, then just like work hard and make people believe that this is what you're supposed to do. And she really instilled that in me. She believed in me a lot, which I think helped, because the older I got, I did realize like, oh, this isn't just all like, oh, you get on stage and you sing and that's cool. Like, you got to really work at it. And I think the first time I performed, I don't remember the very first time I performed, but the first time I performed at like in front of a bigger audience, I completely bombed it because I was like running back and forth on stage. I was so hype and excited, but I had no breath. I couldn't sing. And my mom was like, okay. She's like, you know, it wasn't that good, but like you can get better. And that's when I was like, okay, so I actually have to work on performing. I have to work on singing. Like, just because I have this gift doesn't mean I've mastered it. Like, you have to continue to like make yourself better. And once you see results, then you're kind of like, you want to work. You're like, oh, okay, like if I can be even better at what I just love to do naturally, then let me put in the work. Let me enjoy practice.
So that moment for you, when did you know, oh, this is it? Like, I'm getting better. I'm making those strides. Like, do you have a particular moment where it was like, yeah, I'm on track?
Yeah, I would say it was probably in 2018 when I did Juneteenth, when I opened up for Ashanti.
Oh, wow.
I remember that.
Oh, it was cracking.
Yeah.
It was cracking.
It was cracking.
It was cracking.
That I felt
was
lit.
Like,
Come on, man. We ain't living in the 90s.
Wait. So cracking is
cracking.
Is it crack? All right.
It was lit.
It was
lit.
Okay. So it's lit, not cracking.
It was lit. It was dope.
It was lit.
It was dope.
It was lit and cracking.
They showing our age up here. Like, yo,
goddamn. Got me feeling all dated. Sorry,
Kayla.
So
it was gnarly.
It was swanky.
Swanky.
It was dank. Don't
Okay.
say it's dank.
All right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I prepped really hard for that show. Like I was rehearsing like 3 hours twice a day for that show with my producer, and we just ran it every day back to back. And I remember I had Squizzy DJ for me, and I was like, yeah, can you pull up to 3 rehearsals? He's like, you rehearse? I was like, yeah. Come on. I was like, get your ass on.
Like, what the fuck you think?
But that was I think that performance was a payoff for sure, because I had energy on stage. I felt like I was able to do all things at once. I was able to sing, I was able to engage, I was able to feel what was happening, and I felt like that was only because I prepped for it. Like I was prepared, and I was like, damn, if I can feel this good on stage and not have anything to worry about, then I just got to keep practicing. You're never too good to keep getting better.
So once you felt like, we never feel like we have arrived, right? It's still always work to do, right? But then once you got over that hump to where you said, you know what, I can do this, right? Mm-hmm. How did you transcend any negativity that came your way?
It's a great question.
It is.
I think the people around me, honestly, there was just no room for it. Like my producer, my manager, and certain friends, they don't even really let that penetrate my bubble. If I have something that's bothering me, or certain doubts, or maybe what people are saying, they're just like, why are you even thinking about that? There's so many, you have to look at all the good in your life and realize that there's so much to be thankful for, and that you only really notice the negativity because it might be so few and far between. So when you do experience something, you're like, damn, this sucks. But look at all the other things that are going right, or look at all the other people that support me. I feel like when you give into that negative energy, you kind of dismiss all the people that really love you and truly support you,
Kayla,
and that's not fair.
We live in the world of social media. You have a ton of followers, and the negative comments show up. I've seen them.
But honestly, I feel like I've kind of created this little corner in the world of just good energy. I don't really see too many negative comments. I've seen things on YouTube, or or people will be in my DMs once every few months maybe, but I feel like I get so much love, genuinely. I really do. And if I do see a comment or something, I don't even. So it wasn't always like that. I would respond, but
heavily outweigh the negative.
Heavily, yes. It's not even a comparison. Yeah. Heavily outweigh.
And let me do a +1 to that. It's the vibes that you get off, right? Or that you give off, excuse me. Even from the moment you walked in that door, and hey, you embraced, right? You embraced me, you embraced Courtney, you embraced James. And I'm a firm believer of you're a product of the energy that you give off.
Yeah.
And I commend you for that. It's not especially being an attractive woman in this day and age. If you give off positive energy, it can dictate the wrong message, right?
Yeah, true.
But it's this friendly vibe that you just give off, this positive energy that you give off. And I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I've had to kind of check that. Am I too friendly sometimes? Because I don't want people to get the wrong impression. But I don't know. I just am who I am at the end of the day. And I've noticed there have been times when I have given into certain negativity, and I'll watch how it just I don't know. It's just not who I am. It tears me down. I've had my moments where I've given into some that I shouldn't have. And I'm just not happy with myself. Yeah. I'm man, this is not how I operate. But I'm human, and if people are saying something or whatever, I'm also a firm believer of putting it in the music. So I'll go in the studio and I'll just go off on a song and I'll feel better. You feel me?
The emotions in it, yeah.
But I believe that. I feel like what you put out is what you give, and it's also the world that you create around you. So I try not to give people the wrong impression, because I've had that. I've had people, maybe think it's something more, and I'm like, no, I'm just a nice girl. I don't really know what to tell you.
That's the impression that I got.
I'm just nice.
But that's the impression that I got.
That's the other person's fault, though. My bad.
Yes.
I said, whoa, Kimosabe.
No, absolutely. I mean, you know,
Just fucking.
I'm
having a
giving off good
milkshake.
vibes.
yeah.
We're just having a
But
milkshake.
as a
I'm
woman
just giving
in the
you good
industry,
energy.
Yeah,
Good
you do have to be mindful of it though.
Yeah.
For sure. But
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, as far as, is there any mister in your life, or are you just chilling?
I'm single as a Pringle.
Ooh,
Pringles come in
single.
bunches,
So-
girl. What you talking about? I eat potato chips.
And you can't just eat one.
You can't just
Easy
eat just
one,
one.
but-
Man, and when you
I
single,
mean-
and the thing about it, when you're a single R&B singer, boy, that content is lit.
It is lit. It's on another
Yo,
level.
so
No, wait.
So it's two different levels. If I just made it real quick, if I
Yeah.
get this off. Single R&B singers content is lit. Hurt R&B singers content is super lit. Happy R&B singers, get the shit out of here.
Yeah. That's
Facts.
like at family barbecues.
Yeah. That's kind of
Happy
like.
R&B singer. You're like, yeah, let's
Yeah.
celebrate.
2 steps one time. 3 steps 4 times.
So this Kaylee is the one we want. We want you bursting like
Yeah.
a starburst.
I love you. You got to stop calling me Kaylee.
Kayla. Well, we're going to
Kayla,
edit that
sauce,
out. We're
Kayla,
good.
please.
That man's just throwing
He's
Nah,
air
nah,
excited.
sauce.
please,
He's
please,
excited.
time.
He's just
I'm-
excited.
No, I know it's okay.
But let's get to the music. So I think anybody that listens knows you're clearly talented. And I feel like, I was just saying this earlier, like you are right there just to crack open and
Thank
just break
you.
through. But I want you to tell us as an artist, and I'm not, because you're definitely not struggling, you're making a living, but when you know you're that talented, and what does it take to be like, yo, I'm at that above average tier or whatever, to get into that superstar or that star tier, like to break into it? What do you think you need to do in order to just like pop? That's it. That's the one thing I need.
That is such a good question because I feel like I've been asking myself that for years now. Like, what do I have to do? I think it's a couple things. I think it's who you're around.
Yep.
You have to be around people that, one, that you can provide value to as well, but that can help you. Like people that know how to see what you have and like elevate that and lift that. And then I think it just depends on your work, like how the difference is how much you're willing to work. Because I do feel like there are a lot of areas that I can get better in, but I feel like I know myself as a singer, as an artist, and I feel like at this point it's just how much more work do I got to do? Like how many more hours can I put in? Because you can always do more, especially like no kids, no, relationship. I don't have any ties. Like my time is all mine. So I could be doing so much more. That's how I look at it. Like just maximize my time and get around the right people, I think.
But
So-
you're already doing a lot though. Like, every time I
Yeah.
see you on, of course it's, on the gram, but like you're in the studio or, you're putting out new music and it's just like the work is there. So if you may, let me ask this question. Do you feel, because you were in Denver, had to move out to LA, and I get that, like why you had to move out there,
Yeah.
music business, industry, et cetera, is Hollywood. Do you feel like, do you have to make like the right connection out there and a certain person to be like, yo, just give me a shot? Like, does it have to be something?
I think it has to be, I think it all comes down to, okay, there's a lot of factors, obviously, because we've seen people with maybe really shitty music that, can I cuss?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Really shitty music that, have a
That
great
pop.
level of success, right?
Absolutely.
But I just believe it, I think it comes down to like the right music, low key, like that also with people that, that can invest in you, people that believe in you. But without a good product, people don't have anything to believe in. And what I'm noticing in LA, and it was really humbling for me, it's been, I think like the last 2 months have kind of been a little hard for me because you go into meetings or sessions and the talent speaks for itself, but you also rely on like who you are. You're like, okay, I can win people over with who I am as a person, right? But there's a lot of great people out there. There's a lot of, there's a lot of cool people out there. And so it's like, what's going to make people believe in you? What's going to make someone believe in you that wants to be like, okay, we'll put what we have behind you and give you the opportunity that you need. So for me, I'm trying to tap in and just make even better music. Like I want to make music that I want to play a song and it be a no-brainer. I want it to everybody in the room. Like, you know, there's certain vibes that are cool and you can nod your head to it and that's great, but I want songs that it's like, okay, like you can't leave the room without, you know, without something. I think it's that, and especially like in LA, there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of gimmicks. There's a lot of everything. So I think people are just looking for something real still at the end of the day, even though it's very fabricated. I think people do want something real, but just like the music, I think the music has to be the most important thing.
But do you feel that it's a stigma or maybe a barrier being from Colorado?
I think maybe within my own mind, like I feel like I got kind of spoiled being like, oh, you know, I've done all these great shows, like I've put out all this good music and everybody in my city loves my music. But do people who hear good music every day, do they care about what music I'm making? You know, when it's just another one in the bunch or, so I think for a minute feeling like, okay, I got this. Like you know, I've done it here. I could do it anywhere. And then going out there and realizing it's even harder other places. So I don't think being from here has caused any like blockages, but I think spending enough time out here, you can get comfortable and start to feel like there's really nothing more. And then you go places and you're like, oh, okay, there's a lot more.
Yeah, but I'm saying like specifically, because your music is dope.
Thank you.
And when you say, you know what, I want to go into the room and make that perfect song that nobody can deny, right? And do you ever think it could be a possibility that you've made that song that is undeniable, right? But then they say, you know, how marketable is she since she's from Colorado? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
how do we tap into that?
The gimmicks.
What is the fan base like? You know, like is that an issue for you think? Not an issue for you personally, but not putting that on you at your feet, but placing that on the people who are in the room listening to the music, holding that bias against you.
Maybe because they're, like we were talking earlier, there's not really, I mean, there is within us, but like there's not really a huge, like deep culture that was like birthed here, like something to like shape and mold artists from here that say like, this is where you're from, this is how you walk, how you talk, what you look like how you sound. There's been a lot of influences that I've taken from other places. And so I feel like, yeah, maybe there isn't really anything, I don't know, I don't want to say there's nothing special about here because this is a very special place.
Facts.
But
as far as the masses of like black culture, like
what do people,
how do you identify with Denver versus Atlanta,
Yeah.
Chicago, LA?
yeah, what's
like,
your identity?
I'm with you. I'm with you.
And that's something I've had to figure out over the years is like my identity as an artist, because I know who I am as a woman, but it's like, who are you to people? What do they see when they look at you? What do they hear when they listen to your music? What is that thing? And sometimes it can be, you know, your image, or sometimes it can be the content of your music. But I don't know, maybe being from here has been kind of a roadblock, but that's why I was like, well, let me go out, let me get some life, like let me find new things, like new stuff for me to like submerge myself into. And
I think it's a challenge for artists. Well, I'm not just going to lay this at the feet of artists. I think it's a challenge to the culture here in our state to, hey,
show up.
Let's fucking create something that's original that other people can say, you know, that's Colorado, that's outside of weed, right? Let's create something that now can transcend Denver, Colorado Springs, Pueblo, Colorado. Now we have people from Atlanta doing the shit that we do here. And I know that we have those type of creators here.
We do.
Definitely.
So that is a direct challenge.
It is.
I put that on us. I put that on all the artists, creators, engineers, whomever. We need to create something that is ours.
Yeah, facts. We need something that's ours, and that's unique and original, like you said. We need that.
And not only that, it's like, well, maybe you do tap into the cannabis. I don't know. Maybe you tap into something, but something original, right? And then you got to show up for each other, right? So since we are a small niche, like whoever's hot or whoever's doing anything positive and has that opportunity, show up. Like even if you ain't really vibing with it, show up.
Yeah.
Like, that's this Denver. This is my city right here. Like I'm with you. We can do this. And I think that's how you kind of build those things. But so what I love this discussion about just, it's not just talent being marketed and things like that.
It's so much.
And you mentioned it, it's like the gimmick, right?
Yes.
It's like, how do you, even for this podcast, like we're not entertainers, like we are now, but we didn't
you're
start
not an
out like
entertainer.
that.
Me and Courtney are. Mike definitely is.
No, you just make biscuits. But
Okay, James.
other than that, but you called me James earlier too. That's why I was like biscuit.
Oh, okay, James. That's cool.
Like a buzzword.
Sorry, Kayla.
No, it's okay.
Gimmicks. So it's like, for artists now, you have to put in all this hard work to prove that you can blow before you actually get a machine behind you, right? Like you've done all the hard work, you've done the marketing yourself, you got all these views, you're an indie artist, and then they come after you and they're like, yo, we want to sign you. And it's like, well, it's too late by then. Instead of like investing and putting like things together to help artists such as yourself be like, this is what you need. I could hook you up with that. And, business is business, but then allow you to grow and then blow up.
Allow you to grow. I think that's the thing is like, labels specifically, I guess, are already looking for something established and marketable and ready, which is understandable because with social media and branding, you can brand yourself. You could literally create yourself. You don't really need a budget of a label, or you don't really need a creative director. You can get as creative and unique as you want. But I do think there still needs to be some kind of patience for artists to grow, because only in putting out music and putting out videos and performing do you start to evolve into like who you are as an artist. And so you can't, especially as younger artists, you can't just hold on to your music or to your ideas and think, I gotta wait until somebody's behind me to put this shit out, because the only way you're going to evolve and like solidify your sound and your brand is through putting out music and seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work, seeing what feels good. But it is important to have that patience with artists to be like, okay, do we have time and money and patience to watch you grow and watch you figure it out? Or do we go over to so-and-so who's got 2 million followers and is already,
Right.
You have to look at it from their standpoint, what's more beneficial for them.
But Nori talks about that a lot on Drink Champs in terms of, he says in the 90s, labels really invested heavily in artist development. And that's kind of what we're talking about, right? That artist development, giving artists platform and room to grow. Like, we all need to grow into positions. We don't normally just naturally, the talent is there,
But
right?
Sauce, we
How
live
do we mold that?
We live in a microwave society.
That's
man.
a fact.
Microwave.
That's a fact.
Yeah, it's hella microwave. And, these like companies that say that they are involved in like artist development, they're really not.
No.
They want to throw it in the microwave, press 30 seconds twice, 1 minute, what pops out.
You know who's a perfect example of like a continuous artistical development journey is Rihanna. Because like, remember when she first came out, she was like,
That's my wife, just so you know.
well,
Don't
she
say
mine
nothing bad
too,
about
so.
it. Oh, okay.
What's up?
We need
What's
to have
up?
a party
Hey,
there.
There we go.
Let's have a duel.
She went through we can. What's up?
Podcast.
The ladies love me.
Now we talking.
Yeah, now we're talking. Yeah.
But she started out as, she was doing Ponda Replay and then SOS, and then she came out with this like Unfaithful ballad where it was like, really dark and like, I don't want to be a murderer. And then every song Rihanna put out was different from her last one. She went through like a sad girl rock star phase. She went through a super pop phase with Only Girl in the World. Like, Rihanna was continuously evolving as an artist. Like, there was never one brand to tie her to except for like
Her.
You feel me? And that, like, I feel like she's such a great example of that, because you can't just, like people want artists to have one sound, one look, one vibe, boom, we're gonna sell you. And it's like, okay, well, people are gonna get tired of that. Like, none of us as humans are like that. We're not just one
That's
way.
the microwave.
We're so many different ways. There's so many sides to us. And if I could mirror my career after anybody, it would be her and Beyonce too, because Beyonce evolved as well. Like, just not being afraid to try new things, to try new music, to try new looks, to really go there and make people like a little uncomfortable.
But the interesting thing is they had the people that believed in them, somebody that gave them the shot, somebody that opened the door, somebody that said, like, this is the next emerging person. And that's
very true. You know what? So I'm in this program right now. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. You're good. It's your show.
I'm in this program right now with Stargate, and their producers. They've done Riri, they've done Neo, they've done Beyonce. Like, they've Irreplaceable. They've produced some of the biggest records, and they bring people in the industry to just kind of talk to us and stuff. And we got to talk to Jay Brown and Tata last week. And if y'all don't know who they are, they're legends. Tata's Jay's best friend, but they signed Rihanna. So they were like, at the time, it's easy to think like, oh, it's a no-brainer because we know who she is now. But at the time, people didn't want to fuck with her. Like, they were like, she doesn't have it. They saw something in her, and they were like, you're not leaving this building until we get to sign you. And having that kind of people that will go hard for you is important. Like, the one or two people that are gonna like go up to bat for you. Because even once she was signed, a lot of her like creative decisions were not supported by her label. She had to be like, no, this is what I want to do. X, Y, like and that's the thing, like artists, we want people to believe in us so bad, but you also have to know who you are and what you want, because don't nobody want to be with a wishy-washy artist, or you don't want it more than your artist wants it.
Yeah, and I think where my head goes when you say that, it's almost like the corner black women get pushed into in order to be successful. So it's somebody that doesn't identify with them, that tells them this is what you need to do to be successful, and they've never lived the experience.
That is so real. Like, I see little glimpses of that. Like, just because who I am or what I do doesn't resonate with you personally, you feel like there's another direction that I should be going in. But how are you to know better than me?
Right.
The artist cannot be a slave to the fan.
No.
The artist needs to be free. And like, I'm the hugest Nas fan. And when he starts to do like different things with his music, like people get annoyed by that. And it's the artist, it's the artist having enough confidence to say, I'm an artist. I'm not gonna be, you can't just put me in one box, right? Like, hey, it's like you said with Rihanna, like she sounded, I don't know, like real poppy, reggae type of situation when she first came out. And then she had all of these evolutions, right? And then now she's this thing. It's because she believed in herself and her own artistry. Right. You have to let artists.
And let Kayla finish her thought, though. Like, so you were talking about, the people. So
they haven't been in your experience.
They haven't been in your experience.
Right.
So how do you navigate that to let somebody know, like, I know what's best for me?
Yeah, it's hard. I'm still, I'm figuring it out every day, because there are people who want to help you or who might have the means to help you, but do they have the vision, or do they believe the vision that you have?
Or are they fugazi?
And it's like, you can't, just because someone can help you and might be willing to help you doesn't mean you should compromise what you feel is best for yourself as an artist to get that help. Like, you have to be able to be like, nah, you know what, I'm good without it because I know it's best for me, and I can't like go the direction you want me to go just because,
because you're the artist.
Yeah, because I'm the artist. Like, you have to, the artist is receiving like the direct energy from the fans, the responses from the music. Like, you kind of know what people, what people want from you. And, or that they might not know what they want from you. So it's like, let me show you what you've been missing. Like, let me show you what I can give you. And a lot of times the people who are making those decisions for you, or like who might, whatever labels, etc., like they don't know. They don't make music. They don't even really listen to the music you're making. They don't watch the videos you watch. They're not in this.
They're not part of the culture at all.
Spreadsheets.
And you can't spreadsheet.
Analytics.
Numbers, analytics. That's what they see.
Yeah.
And they're like, but this says this. And it's like, I get that. But at some point, like, I get like being logical about things, but music is all about feeling. Art is about feeling. And like, you have to go where you feel is best. Now, sometimes artists shoot themselves in the foot because, you know, you can feel a little too much or you can be too much in your head, like sensitive about our shit. But I feel like at the end of the day, you're going to know what's best for you.
So can I phrase a question? Because I think this isn't controversial, but I think it is that balance, right? Of like those that might pop or get the machine behind them is that, of course, it's all about talent. I get that part. But being willing to bend or sell out, I guess, if that's what you want to call it, to say, all right, I'll do an album or two, like kind of the way you want me to do it. And then when I blow and I get my fan base or whatever that is to like kind of break on my own, and then I can really get into my bag. Do you think artists struggle with that? Do you think some get that opportunity because they're willing to do that? What are your thoughts?
I think artists struggle with it. I feel like that's when artists rebel and start like, I don't know. I get being like, okay, I'll do it. I'll bend a little bit, you know, but you bend here and then you start bending here and then here. And then you look in the mirror and you're like, who am I? Like, this is not who I like wanted to be.
Yeah.
So now, you know, fuck it, I'm stripping everything. And then you just start rebelling. And then it almost hurts your art because now you're creating from a place of like feeling like you got to prove something, and maybe not in the best way, but in a way of like, I got to defend who I am. So I'm kind of just like going off the rails. Like when you see it happen with artists, it's like you can always tell in their career when that like rebel happens. Yeah. You can always see it. And sometimes it is for the better, but I feel like it's a balance. It's delicate. That's why you can't bend too much in the beginning. You have to know who you are.
So how about this? Independent or label?
It depends.
You got to know. You got to choose one. You got to choose one.
I'm gonna say independent.
Okay. Why?
Independent.
Why?
Because you can make all your own decisions. You know, once somebody starts handing you money, they get to make the choices because they're paying for everything. So it's like you give up your right to choose what you want to do, and as long as you're independent and it's working for you, there's no need to go major. You know.
But it's so. Did I interrupt you? I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah. But it's so like people don't understand the work it takes to like be successful from an indie perspective versus from a corporate perspective. They have the time, they have the resource, they have the money. They have the people that are going to amplify your voice.
That's why I'm saying like it
that's
depends.
The microwave, yeah.
Especially like when you have like done it for a minute, you put in that work being independent, you're like, okay, this is cool. I'm doing what I want to do, but damn, I'm exhausted. Like, so a deal don't sound too bad right now. You know what I'm saying? Like
I'm earning
that don't really sound too bad. And once you have enough leverage, it's like, okay, maybe I could come to the table with a deal myself.
For
like,
sure.
This is what I want to do.
I like that.
And so I think it depends.
It's crazy.
It's
about
almost
your
like,
goals.
you know what's crazy? It's almost like a startup getting bought out by like a big company, right? Like, you know, like
that's definitely what
Slack
it is.
getting bought out by Salesforce.
Right.
It's like you have this tool, you have this resource that would serve this bigger corporation. It would like fill a gap or a hole in their model, and they bring you in and say, hey, we need you to fill this hole, but through this acquisition, this is how we need you to act.
Man, but the thing about it is about how much foresight you have. I remember a while back, James and I were talking about an interview that Russ had with Rory and Mal.
Yeah.
And Russ is an independent artist. And he's like, yo, if they're willing to pay me this for my product now and I'm already making this, dude, then they're telling me that, because once I sell it, they own the rights to all my shit in perpetuity.
Yeah.
Right.
They own you, essentially.
Yeah. So he's like, man, if they're throwing $20 million at me, that's telling me that I'm worth.
They're gonna make 100.
They're gonna make $100 million
at minimum.
At minimum. So from his perspective, that independent grind is way more worth it. And then you have some people like, going back to Nori, who says, you know what, I like the comfortability of having, is that a word?
Yeah,
Comfortability.
You just feel comfortable.
Okay. I like to feel comfortable with being with the label, them pushing the artist, then paying for everything, and then, you know, have everything kind of have a platform, right? That I don't have to really work that hard for.
There's no difference between, and I think that's a great point. It's no difference between JC and Kiana having this beautiful space and say, we want to operate on our own. You saying, hey, I want to operate on my own. I want to have the creative space to do what the hell I want to, versus having to go punch a clock and have the security of whatever security means to you.
Yep.
And whatever resonates with you. It's such an interesting dynamic. And I could see how once you've put in all this work and that you're like, great journey. You've done all this shit. And then you have this tough decision to make about, do I want to be comfortable or do I want my own creative rights? It's a crazy dynamic.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's that clear cut, but
Well, no, like I'm just
like,
trying to get like to the bare bones.
like if you
without-
get signed, I'm sure you'll still put in the work ethic. You know, there's other things you don't have to
you
worry
have
about.
to solid comfortability. To be comfortable from a financial perspective, they're like,
Right.
you're taken care of, versus the grind.
Because
Because
what happens is when you do sign a deal, you're good, you're comfortable. They're like, go make all the music you want to make, you know. But when you turn it in, if we don't like it, we're not putting it out.
Yeah.
So it's like, as opposed to before I sign that deal, I can make all that music I want to make and put it out, and that's the gamble that you take. Or are you making, you know, because it's like they sign you because they want you in the first place, right? So
Right.
like, why not let an artist just do what you signed them for?
Yep.
But again, people have these visions that might not line up with yours, and they're like, but we see this. And
Because
it's
they don't
like,
have that lived experience.
They don't live it. They don't know.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
it is a gamble, I think. But
Well, you do have to give them. Well, not
And I
credit,
apologize for interrupting you.
and I'm sorry too, but that's the reason why you want the labels, is because they probably know the things that you might not know as far as marketing and
Yep.
advertising, right? So like, and PR. So they're like, no, don't just put this out willy-nilly. And I'm not saying you're doing that, but let's be more strategic of like,
Yeah.
hey, you do this, then this will happen, and we take these steps, rather than letting you know, be at the helm, which you've been doing this whole time to get it successful, right?
yeah,
And it's like that struggle of like, oh
Yep,
man,
yep,
I can't just put it out because I might lose out on money if I do it this way, as opposed
Right.
to,
But I know what
don't know.
works. I know what works.
right.
Because I've done it. Because I've done it. You know.
I'll get you something on ESPN as far as like getting your little, you know, your track played or something, you know, just stuff like that to be
yeah.
like, oh, okay.
You get a bigger platform.
Right.
You're most likely gonna be able to tour with a major artist. You know what I mean? You're gonna like, there's definitely benefits, and I think as far as the music is concerned, there's probably there might be a level of quality that you haven't hit yet as an independent artist, or like a different take on your music that could, you know, that you could benefit from. Like,
Got it.
it depends on your goals, I think, what you want to do. Do you want to be a stadium artist? Because you got to make stadium music, and that doesn't sound like what Weeknd was putting out when we all met Weeknd. It sounds like what he's putting out now. So it depends on your goals. But if you hate the music you're making, then that's the problem.
Yeah.
But, you know, the term selling out it's kind of like weird, because you might be making music that people think is considered selling out, but if you fuck with it, you're not selling out.
Yep.
And Weeknd's a prime example. Like,
I like the old Weeknd.
I love the old Weeknd, you know, but that goes back to your Nas comparison.
Yeah, he has to branch out.
He has like the feedback that I'm like, I don't, this new style, this 80s, and, you know, trying
It's
to get a different demographic. I get why you're doing it. You know, you're crossing over, but I love the old Weeknd, and I listen to that stuff to this day.
Yeah.
And that's the struggle I think artists have of like
That fight. It's that fight.
that fight
It's
of
the
like,
fight.
yo, I can't give you, what is it? That album,
What,
Balloons.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I forget the other one, but yeah, it's like I can't give you that because for whatever reason, like I'm changing.
Yeah.
You
So,
know?
Kayla, you mind if I take a left turn real quick?
Yeah.
just to have a little fun.
Okay.
Why are you tapping your foot like that when you say that?
Hey, because I'm trying to be like Courtney. No, like
You feel that earthquake? You feel that
Yeah.
1.2?
1.2.
at 1.2. Hey, so
That's good.
when we were talking about, what do you want, JC? Hey, when we were talking earlier about that song that doesn't let you leave the room, like you're like stuck in that room with that song. What's that song to you?
To me,
No, like what is the actual song that doesn't let you leave the room?
that I've heard that I'm like, oh, that's fire.
That's me. Like this is my I can't leave the room song.
Of my own?
Yeah,
Or like
I
that
think
I've heard
no, that's
that I'm
good.
like,
Of
yours.
both, I think both. I want to hear
Oh, okay.
whoever like that resonates with you externally, and then what you feel like you've put out is that song.
I would say, and it's an older song, I guess, but like Halo by Beyonce, right?
Oh,
You hear that and you're like, it don't matter who
I can't leave the room.
who you play it for. You're like, what?
I'm in love.
Run that back. I'm
like
in
that.
love. Vocals, like lyrics, the music, like it's a no-brainer. Lil Nas X, Industry Baby. That
Okay.
song is crazy. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know. It's just like, just those records that, and maybe it's because they're already big that I feel that way. Who knows, right?
Sure.
Got it.
Who
And
knows?
what about for you, the song that you've made that doesn't let you leave the room?
I don't know if I've made it yet. I feel like I have some that I really cherish, and that I feel like are close. But my thing is like, if anyone else can sing it, if just any other girl could record it, then it might not be that special.
Okay.
I
Yo,
wanna-
so songs are your
so
babies,
Sauce, give me a
man.
minute. So you're constructively dissatisfied, is what I'm hearing.
I'm very satisfied with my music, but I know where it could be.
Yeah. So constructively
yes.
dissatisfied. So the follow up question to that,
Which is hard for me to admit because I was
what?
what?
What's so
I'll just
funny?
laugh at it. It's just in my head, man.
Oh, my bad.
It's just in my
Oh
head.
no,
But
let
I
Damo
have-
go. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Let
and then
Damo go.
so-
5-part question.
No, I said I have 3 questions for you.
Okay.
Yeah. So the next one is, who is your favorite artist
Of all time,
of all time?
I think Rihanna.
Okay.
Like, I know that, I mean, there's so many other amazing artists, like, that I'm leaving out.
But it's Riri. Huh?
I relate to her a lot, and I feel like she's taught me a lot as, like, a performer, and I think she's just my favorite. She don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And she's, like, you know, I think she's aware of what her weaknesses are, which is, I feel like, why she is so strong, and why she's like worth $3 billion by the end of this year. She's worth $3 billion by the end
That's
of this
dope.
year.
With the B.
And the last one is, you talked about like the Black community here in Denver, like collectively that helped you grow. And you talked about Danae and some other folks prior to the show. Would love for you to like talk about the impact that had on your life.
Yeah, being new to Denver, I didn't really know what I was about to like get into. I was just like, cool, I'm here. Like, I want to perform. I want to make music. I was putting out hella EPs on SoundCloud, and I didn't really have a community yet. Like, I didn't have people that supported me, people that I could like support and pour into as well. And then a bunch of us girls ganged up, and we were like, let's just do it ourselves. Like, there was a vision with WCW to not have to rely on promoters and other people to put you on a show where you might be like the first act when nobody's in the building. It was like, let's do our own, where there's 6, 7 fire female artists on the bill, and that way the house is packed before the first one goes on. Like, and that really, I think, did a lot for all of us, for our self-esteem, for our journeys, because we saw the power in like working together. And you really can't do this shit alone. Like, you can't do this shit alone. There's certain decisions you might be able to make alone, but you can't be out here trying to get it and think you can do it by yourself. You need people around you.
Yeah.
And you also need healthy competition. Like, I need to hear some shit and be like, that's fire. Let me get my ass in the studio.
Yeah.
Or like, damn, you killed that. Like, let me get my ass in the gym. You know, I need that around me for sure. And I think that's what we were all for each other, was like a very healthy level of like, you got to get better, sis. Like, you got to do better. And in doing that, we made each other better. And yeah, I think it made for, you know, a better scene too.
Yeah, we talk about a lot about that from a business perspective within the pod, but we talk about that as friends too.
Yeah.
Like, you know, this dude's doing handstand push-ups, and I'm eating hot wings. It's like, you know.
Have you started back doing handstand push-ups?
No, I haven't.
So it ain't working?
No.
Man, it's all about
Okay.
perspective.
It's
man.
all
You know,
about
James
perspective.
got the
Next time I'm just
James got
punch
the
you.
handstand.
Punch you right in your chest, like, yo, get in the gym.
Yeah. No, but real talk,
hey,
like,
Killer
that's
got the-
great.
Yeah, friends, you know, artist friends, like business friends. You have to have, you can't, we hear it all the time, you can't be the smartest person in the room. Like, you in the wrong place. You can't be the best artist in the room. Like, you have to have people in the room that make you sweat a little bit.
Sounds
Yeah,
familiar.
that's a fact.
Like, I need that because I know I'll get comfortable. So I need somebody better than me around all the time. So I could be like, what are you doing? Like, what can I mirror that you're doing? What are your habits?
And that's
So-
the best thing you could do. Go ahead, go.
Yeah, so just a right. So Damien took a left turn, so a right turn, right? Earlier, you talked about feeling, right? And how music is a feeling, right? Where are you at now? Like, how are you feeling now? Like, what's in your music now? Like, what do you want to, like, how are you feeling? Are you like, fuck him, fuck this shit? Or are you in love? Are you, like, where you at?
I'm kind of like
Out
very,
here? You outside? What you doing?
I'm not outside of my music, but I'm tapping more into a sensual side of myself. Before I would, you know, when I was releasing music in like 2018, 2019, I was in a very like coming of age period in my life. So I was writing a lot about what my life looked like around me, what I was manifesting at the time. And then I went through a period where I was making sad girl music. I was very sad. And then now, I don't know, I'm a little more free in my decisions. And just as a woman, I feel sexy lately. So a lot of my music is very sensual. It's
Okay,
Talk
okay.
about it.
It's
Talk
just-
about it.
I be
about it.
seeing
Talk about
it.
It's
I
just
be
Yeah,
very-
seeing it.
see, I was trying to get there.
I
You
got
know, you want to
you
talk
got
about,
there.
yeah, because she
I
said
feel like I'm
she's
growing
single.
up.
Yeah.
You know
She's
what I'm
single.
saying?
You are.
And it
Talk about
just, it feels good to just kind of tap into that powerful like woman energy and to like, and to have, I don't know, I feel like all the best parts of myself in my music. And I'm really valuing my voice, I think now more than I ever did. Like, I didn't realize what a gift it truly is. Like, it's I think my strongest weapon. And so my music now is very vocal driven and just tapping into like being a sexy, single, young girl.
Yeah.
Get the
Loving
air
her
horns for
life.
that.
Got us out
Absolutely.
here.
Women-
Out here leaving us on red.
I'm
Women
having
Because
fun.
you can.
What'd you say, Sauce? Is what?
Out here leaving us on red because you can.
Leaving us
Because
on
you
red.
that bad. Because you that bad.
I'm having fun.
Because you that bad.
Absolutely. Looking good
You
out
should
there.
have fun. You deserve it.
Yes, which is exciting because it is opening me up to just making whatever the fuck I want right now. It's it's so much fun, but within each song there is a little bit of like sass and a little bit of like, you know, I know who I am now, so it's like a take it or leave it kind of thing. Yeah.
That is beautiful. So, talking about being sexy, women empowerment, all the beautiful things that you're doing,
We love it.
the artistic side of things and business. Tell us about, because you're diving into this NFT world.
Yes.
So I saw you put an NFT out for
2 now.
2.
Yep, one for Gifted and
Love
one
it.
for
Yes.
Prove Something. Prove Something isn't out yet,
Yeah.
but Gifted is, yes.
So tell us about that process of NFTs, because I don't think a lot of people, well, people probably know about it, but tell us why.
Well, first I was anti because I didn't know what it was, and I was like, ugh, look at the kids just on some new shit. What is this? Until I met up with a friend of mine who's a photographer and a graphic designer, and she was like, you should look into it. And just someone suggesting it was enough for me to be like, okay. So I was like, I saw that you can actually mint your music and sell your music as NFTs. And so I had talked to my producer about it, and he was like, I think that's a great idea. He was like, but we don't know anybody that can mint work. Like, that's a actual process within like the whole Web3 space.
Let's put mint in context real quick.
Like authenticating it.
Okay.
So giving it a number that is unique to that specific like product, which is what they're doing with the artwork. And so I just put it to the side because I was like, all right, I don't know a company that can do that. I wouldn't know where to start. But a friend of ours in Atlanta hit up my producer and was like, hey, I'm working with this company, Sing Market. They're a brand new NFT market, and they're looking to partner with artists to release music as NFTs. And so we had a meeting, and they explained it to me a little bit more. And basically, anything you can think of, you can mint and make it authentic and create kind of like something rare with it. You could you could make behind the scenes videos of what we're doing here, right? And you could make like 3 of them that are only available to 3 people who really fuck with this.podcast and want to buy it.
Thank you for that.
You feel it?
Absolutely.
And you sell it for however much you want. And what's exciting about it is it's not like a right now thing. You're looking in the future.
Yep.
So when Kayla Rae is worth more money, that gifted NFT, which I only made 11 copies of.
Yep.
What made you choose that number?
It's my favorite number.
Okay, got it.
I've always seen it in my dreams growing up. I love the number.
Manifestation. Manifestation.
Yes. So I made 11, and I was like, okay, let's see who the real 11 are. Like, who really fucks with me? Because we're going to drop them, and we're going to see. And in the future, that gifted NFT is going to be worth so much money. So those people have the opportunity to resell their NFT if they want, or they keep it. They're like, nah, this worth $2 million. You feel me?
Right.
But once those do resell, I'll continue to gain a profit off these NFTs as they resell for the life of them, and everyone else involved in the NFT as well. So it's longevity, and it's also for me like it's a way to sell music again, because we don't sell music anymore.
We don't.
And me, like we talked about earlier, an independent artist, like I'm not about to clock in. So I'm like, my art has to make money for me. And I want to start like selling my music again, because I put a lot of time into these songs and they mean something. But because I release them so often, it's just like, oh, there's one every month on Spotify. These streams don't mean anything. Like it's lunch money. So it's like, this is a way for me to add value to my music again and be like, no, this song is actually important. It's like if you had to drive to Target and get the little single on the disc, like I want you to feel the importance of that.
The tangible.
I went to Media Play. I didn't go to Target.
I used to go to Independent Records.
I remember Media Play.
Media Play was
Circus
every
City.
Tuesday they release new music.
Sam Goody.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm still very new at it. It's still a new space for me. But through the process, I've kind of learned a little bit more about what it is, and it's just you putting value on something that you feel deserves value, and being like, do you agree? Do you want to be a part of this experience with me? And it really showed me like how much people support me. Like I think that was the best thing, was being like, damn, like this really means something to people.
I think that was for us last night.
That was.
Yeah.
That was.
When people show up for you, right?
Yeah, when people showed up for us last night.
It was good, man.
So I can definitely, that resonates with me.
Yeah.
Kayla showed up for us, man.
Kayla showed up for us.
I'm happy to be here.
Like yo, I really one thing my boy Wah says is like, just like you keep talking about with the manifestation piece, right? And I truly believe that you're sitting here because we manifested that we would be sitting down with you to have an interview, because you are a dope person. And the fact that you're in this NFT space, you are an artist, you're doing your thing, you're awesome, and you took the time to come to this dot, you know what I mean? And you was even willing to squeeze it in between a prior engagement that you had. You know what I mean? That's love, yo.
That is love.
And thank you for that.
Yeah, of course.
This of having you here means a lot to the pod.
It does.
It means a lot to be here. Honestly, I love being in a space where I can be myself and reflect on the journey, because it is a lot day to day, and sometimes you forget, like, damn,
how far
I
you
got
come.
here. Yeah, and it is really nice to sit down and talk about it, and also with people that just appreciate it, but also like people who like were there from the beginning, which is really crazy.
Apex to NFT.
It's very,
There you
you
go.
know
Apex.
what I'm saying?
That's real. That's real.
I love that.
Like, imagine if you literally NFT footage of you at Apex.
Yes.
No, absolutely.
Yes.
That's the title of this show.
And I can
Apex
too.
to
That's
NFT.
crazy.
Apex NFT.
Apex
So,
NFT.
one question I have for you is like, you talk about your journey, which is dope. What would you tell your future self? So in 15 years, 10 years, whatever, how long, like, Kayla, thanks for digging in this area.
Real quick before I say that, it's so crazy because I was eating lunch the other day. I was eating my Chipotle, and I usually eat it all at once, right?
Sofritas.
Huh? Yes. It's so good. It's the only thing I get there.
Okay.
And I'm eating it, and I'm telling my friend, I'm like, damn, I would really be happy if I saved some of this for later, but I want to just eat it right now. And she looks at me, she goes, oh, she was like, present Kayla doesn't care about future Kayla? And I was like, I wrapped up my Chipotle. I was like, future Kayla would really enjoy this. And it got me thinking, like, how much do I care for my future self? Am I caring for my future self enough, giving her something to be like, thank me for? So it's crazy you asked that. But I feel like future Kayla would probably be grateful for how much time I'm in the studio right now. Like, I've always been in the studio, but since October to now, I've been in there every day.
Wow.
Monday through Friday, from between 10 to 6 or 10 to midnight without fail.
Consistency.
That's it.
And making some of the best music I've ever made, and so far anyway. And I think future Kayla is going to be grateful for that, and also I think for these NFTs, for diving into something new and trying something new that I think is the future. I don't know what kind of value they're going to hold in 10 years, but I think it's going to be something very big, and hopefully something my family will be able to, receive value from as well. And
Love that.
I think
That's good.
I think future Kayla's going to like that. I did that.
So Kayla, on that, piggybacking on that question, I know in your mind, like when you close your eyes at night, like what is that manifestation in that? Give me a clear vision of like what you dream about at night to say, this is where I want to be in this moment, and this is what I want to be doing as an artist. Like if it's performing at the Barclays, or like what is that moment, or where do you see yourself and why you do this? Like what's that success that plays back in the back of your mind?
It's been the same since I was little, and I don't know or care what award show it is, but I always just see my mom right there in the front, and I'm like performing a song that's just bringing her to tears. Like I just want her to see me in my most comfortable, like highest place, which is for me on stage, but also like being successful and being happy. Like I want her to see me happy and successful, and because I know that's just what she wants. Like that's just what she wants for all of her kids, is she wants us to feel like we've really done it and lived the life we're proud of. And I know that would fulfill her, and I've just always seen it. I don't know, like I just see her down there as I'm singing to her, and it's like our moment that we're sharing. And whether there's like awards won that night or not, I just want to be able to bring her into this world with me and like celebrate it. And I just want my family to be comfortable. Like that's really all that I want. We don't own any property. We don't own any businesses. We have nothing to our names. And for me, I don't feel like it's my responsibility, but I just feel like I want to do that for my family. Like I want my nieces and nephews to have something. I need them to have something as they get older. And that's a huge motivation for me. So that vision is just making sure that my family is okay, but also being happy and successful and like comfortable.
Girl,
Kayla, thank you for sharing.
You got my eyes sweating.
I was about to sweat a little bit. I'm not gonna
My
lie.
eyes are over here
That's
sweating.
dope. I'm almost over
and
here
sharing
crying.
your why. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like sharing your why, and literally that's thank you for asking that question because
Thanks, Co.
I was literally going to ask the same question, but I'm glad you asked it. Like, what is your driver? And Mom is a driver, isn't she?
Yeah, especially like, because it was just her and us 5 kids. And like, I couldn't imagine raising one baby by myself.
And where are you at in the 5?
I'm the middle child.
Okay.
My younger brothers are twins, and I have 2 older sisters. And I don't know, like, I don't know how she did it, honestly. Like, I don't know how we're all still alive and, like, doing all right, because I feel like that's a lot of responsibility on one woman. And I just want her to be able to, like, take a break. Like, I want her to feel like the work she put in, the energy she put into us meant something. And me living my best life is giving her that. Like, it's giving her the chance to be like, okay, like, I did good, you know? And I just want her to feel that. I really do. Like, and I see it when she sees me perform on stage. I see it in her eyes. Like, she is happy. And I think it's because she sees me happy at my best. And so I want to take care of me so I can take care of her and everybody else.
And job well done.
This podcast.
Job well
This
done, Mom.
podcast. Bustin'.
And you
Good
doing
job,
that, I
Mom.
could see it in your
Job well
music.
done.
Like, you make me proud.
And
Thank
you do,
you.
and you do,
I'm glad you came through Denver. Thank you for that.
Me too.
Really,
Thank
for
you for
real.
having me.
and you
Absolutely.
do have ownership of your instrument. And J4 Key said this a while ago, and she said her voice is her instrument,
Yeah.
and that always stood out to me. So you have an amazing voice, you have an
Thank you.
amazing instrument, and Moms is extremely proud of you.
Yeah.
Regardless of where you feel you're at, if you never get to that stage and can actually have that connecting moment, which you are going to get there because you are manifesting that, Moms is fucking proud of you regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Thank
then
you.
It's awesome.
I see the look on James' face. That's not good.
No, it's fine.
Oh, you're good.
No,
All right.
yeah.
So, Kayla, we always like to ask this at the end of the show. Like, you brought a ton of great energy, ton of great positive vibes, and definitely fit like the value and the culture of our show. Who would you recommend to come on here?
Ooh, okay. Okay, I would recommend Neptune. Y'all know who Neptune is?
No.
All right, get hip. It's N-E, but the E is a 3. Neptune, performer, writer,
And
singer,
he's from here?
producer. He's from here.
I saw him on Instagram.
He is unreal.
I feel like I've seen him.
I have.
He's amazing.
Okay.
Hey, and Squizzy got mad when Rosa was on here. I was like, who's Squizzy? That man, he was like, I'm going to show you who I am.
And he's been killing it lately.
Yeah.
He's been killing it. He opened up for her at Belco.
Yes.
Then he was at Red Rocks. Yeah,
He
he's
had,
been killing
man,
it.
he's been killing it. He's a
So,
legend.
Neptune.
Neptune, get Neptune on here. He's great. A lot of positive energy. He's doing amazing things. I would say J Triple. Y'all know who J Triple is?
I do.
Okay.
Yep.
J Triple is fire. She's really wise too. I feel like y'all would have some good convo with Trip. Like she's amazing. There's so many people.
Hey, but you know what you can do too? It's just like when we release it, just tag them.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'll do that because there's so many great people right now that I can't seem to think of. But yeah.
And I didn't mean to put you on the spot like that, but
No, it's okay.
Like real talk, like tag them. Like that's what the show is about.
Mm-hmm.
Is to bring their voices and to help amplify
Yes.
what they do, and like people that we don't necessarily know about, like learn from them.
Yeah.
Learn about their journey. Learn about what they've done in order to be successful, and bring like the community and the culture together.
Have you brought Simone on here yet? DJ Simone?
No.
No, I've reached
Okay,
out
bring
to
her
her.
fine ass on the show.
Yeah.
Simone, you need to
Simone,
come on this
you gotta come on.
podcast.
Thank you for the.
Well, I feel weird because it's like, it comes from this.podcast, and sometimes. So you're a beautiful woman, DJ Simone, all beautiful women. Like, you got to handle those DMs, and I understand you just ignoring them, right? So I feel like a creep.
We
where
had that conversation.
We feel like we just get ignored just because y'all have probably thousands of DMs that come through. So we try to do email.
This is a great way though too, to
Yeah.
put it in the video, tag them, and they can be like, oh, okay.
Like y'all for
But
real.
I'm gonna put it in their ear though. I'm gonna let them know.
Yeah, no, we
like
appreciate
y'all gotta
that.
come on here because this is dope. Dope conversation, good vibes. Like,
Thank you, Kayla.
you know, I love this. I love this space.
We appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Real talk.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
How can y'all not love this? Come on now. Come on, y'all. Yeah, we setting the vibes. Absolutely.
It's not about you, JC.
So you never stumble upon the unexpected if you stick to the familiar. So go get gifted.
Get it.
Get blessed. Thank you, Kayla Rae, for coming on the show.
This part.